Hello everyone and welcome to the Erik Bryant Show. This is episode 15 and this show is going to be all about the baseball season, the playoffs. Postseason is finally here and the 162 game baseball season is over. It didn't come without a few shots and a very exciting season in my opinion. I'm going to recap to see if I was right on all of the teams, some of the teams, most of the teams that I put into the playoffs that I predicted would go in to the playoffs. We'll start in the National League. My predictions to win those divisions were the Nationals, the Reds, and I said Dodgers at first, changed it to the Giants on my second picks. The first picks, I figured the Dodgers would take it. The division was close at that time, but then on the second time in September, when I wanted to see if I wanted to change my opinion, I did go Giants. They ran away with that division at the end. They are into the postseason. The two I picked right on the National League teams. At first, I said the two wild card teams would be the Braves and the Giants, but I switched those to the Braves and the Cardinals, and that is who will be playing today in about 2.5 hours. It will be the Cardinals and Braves in Atlanta, the one-game playoff for the National League, to see who will go on to face the Nationals, who got home field advantage throughout in the National League. So I did pretty good over there in the National League. The teams that I chose, I thought the Dodgers would make it because of all the players they had, the good roster they have or had, all that payroll they spent with Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, Josh Beckett. Just goes to show you, though, the money's not always the answer, because the Dodgers are going to be starting today when the playoffs begin. They're going to be sitting at home like so many other teams watching the postseason, watching the Reds, the Giants, the Nationals, and either the Braves or Cardinals, whoever wins today, going into the divisional rounds, trying to see who makes it to the National League Championship. Over in the American League, the Yankees won that division like I figured would happen. It was close there at the end between those guys and the Orioles, but like I said, schedule-wise and also experience-wise for the Yankees, I figured they would go ahead and pull that thing out in the end, and that is exactly what happened. That's what they did. They will be playing the winner of the one-game wild card playoff, which is happening tonight at 8:30. Detroit wins their division, which I said all along they would go ahead and do it, and they did it in the fashion I figured they would do it. It'd be close between them and the White Sox. They'd get hot late in the season. White Sox would falter a little, which they certainly did, and Detroit ended up winning that division. The West, I chose the Rangers, picked them all year, and Texas did get into the playoffs, but a team that I left out, Oakland, I figured, looking at the schedule, they had the toughest schedule left through all, among all the teams who were trying to get into the postseason, into the playoffs. And Oakland really shocked me. They played well all year. They played well the last month of the season down the stretch, playing all those good high-profile teams. And not only did Oakland make the playoffs, which I didn't even think they'd make the one-game playoff, I picked the Angels and the Orioles. But not only did Oakland make the playoffs, but on the final day of the season, they beat the Texas Rangers, and they win the American League West. So now Oakland's sitting back waiting to play tomorrow night against the Detroit Tigers. Oakland got the number 2 seed in the American League behind the Yankees, and that should be a great matchup, a good series between the Tigers and A's. I missed one on that one, and that was Oakland going in. I thought the Anaheim Angels would turn it around, get in really probably on that last day, and play in the playoffs, one-game playoffs against the Orioles. But Oakland got in. They were hot. They got hot late, and they won the division. So now the one-game playoffs is actually the Rangers and Orioles. So my predictions, even though I didn't do them till after the All-Star break, not that bad. I was off by a few teams. But now it's where everybody says here's where the fun begins. Now the regular season is over, the postseason is here now, and it's the teams that deserve to be there, the good pitching staffs, the good teams that hit the ball well, you know, the best teams in the league are the ones that are left now. So it's not going to be any cupcake games. You're not playing the Blue Jays or the Rockies or the Padres anymore this year. It's going to be quality opponents. And I'll give predictions for the two games today. Starting at 5 o'clock, the Atlanta Braves are playing the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League. The pitching matchup is Kyle Loesch, who won 16 games this year for the Cardinals. Really a strong breakout season for him. I think he came in a little under the radar, but I also think that the Atlanta Braves, the pitcher they're starting for this one game, the guy they're trusting the ball with in this one game, also a guy that came in under the radar. He was injured to start the season. Didn't pitch for them the whole year, but when he came in, he provided a spark for them, and that is Chris Medlin, who had a good record, a good ERA for the Braves, and they give him the ball for the one game to try and make it into the to the National League Division Series to play the Washington Nationals. Now, in years past, the team with the best record in home field throughout the division, the National League or the American League, would not play the wild card team if that team was in the team with the best records division. Well, I guess since they've got this second wild card, they've changed the rules, because now if the Braves do win, they will indeed play Washington, and that series will start on Sunday. Kind of hard for me to predict between the Cardinals and the Braves. Both teams very good, very clutch, very experienced with playoff baseball. I think I'm going to have to give, even though Loesch had a great season, 16 wins this year, I think I'm going to have to give the edge to the Braves, just because the Braves are playing at home today. I think that's going to do it. I think the crowd's going to come out in Turner Field, help these guys. I think it's going to be a very competitive, very good baseball game. It's going to get down into the bullpens, and I think the Braves bullpen slightly better than the Cardinals, in my opinion. And I think that the Braves will win that game and go on to play the Nationals. And the other game, the night game that's coming on at 8:30, is going to be the Rangers and the Orioles. And the Rangers kind of backed their way in. Well, not kind of. They backed their way into the playoffs. They had a 5-game lead in that American League West with 9 games left to play, and they end up, instead of winning the division and being the number 2, possibly the number 1 seed in the American League playoffs, they find themselves having to win this game tonight to make it into the divisional round and play the Yankees. Yu Darvish going for Texas, Joe Saunders, the veteran, going for Baltimore. And if you look at it on paper, it does look like the Orioles are very mismatched as far as the starting pitching matchup goes. But then again, you think, well, the Orioles on paper have really looked outmanned and outmatched all year against the quality top-tier teams like the Rangers, the Yankees, the Tigers. They look like they don't have nearly enough hitting as those teams, nearly enough pitching, but somehow they've pieced it together all year. They stayed in the division. They were tied very late in the year with the Yankees going into the final 3 games, the final season series of the year for both teams. And so I mean, you never know. You can never count out the Orioles, never underestimate Baltimore. But with Texas going to the World Series 2 years in a row, and the quality pitchers they have, quality hitters they have, I don't know. Even though it's been such a long time since Baltimore's been able to go to the playoffs and do anything, I think once again I gotta go with the home team. I'm going with the Rangers tonight. So those are my predictions. The Braves and the Rangers make it in to the National League Division Series, the American League Division Series, and I'll be back later on as the days go by, as the playoffs go by, and as the divisional series start, to give my picks on each individual division series. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me. I just wanted to go ahead and let everybody know my thoughts, tell everybody how I did in my predictions of the teams going into the playoffs, and I will see you next time.